yeah, that's been a lot of the things I'm gearing up for is trying to find a fun CRT-V and have like a retro area.
Does it have to be CRT or
Yeah, it does.
you want the entire feel?
It does.
I mean, if you try and put these older consoles on,
It looks bad.
it doesn't look good.
I bought 2 CRTs for a reason.
Yes,
it just looks better.
I mean, you've also been playing a lot of retro games recently.
Yeah, and I always apply a
a
CRT filter now that I learned how. But like, it just, because it smooths out the pixels to make it look, that's how they're designed to look anyway, was based on these televisions.
Yeah.
The other thing that I've really come to recognize as like an old man now is that, you know, we have these cool streaming services. You've got Netflix and Crunchyroll, and you have iTunes and whatever, Spotify. All these things are at your disposal instantaneously.
Yeah.
And then I was on my way here today, and I was thinking how much I enjoyed, through lack of a better word, the struggle of like, I have a CD Walkman that has 4 hours on a battery, and I'll bring maybe a CD that's in there, and I'll try to listen. It'll be skipping. But just having the physical media, going over to someone's house and seeing like which games they've got, and that's all we can choose from tonight.
Yeah.
I want him to understand that value, even just a little bit, because I feel like the paralysis decision mode of like,
Oh, totally.
here's every Steam game I own. Pick one. It's better to play like Castlevania's first 2 stages and be like, this game sucks, I can't beat it. But that's all I have, so I'm going to keep playing it.
Yeah.
And so that's the kind of, I guess I'm just torturing my son, but like, he'll be little A in no time. So it's gonna be great.
I have a nephew who is like very limited in terms of like the choice that he has, at least like early in like the first few years of his life. Because I think my cousins told me that, and I kind of agree with this, where he has his whole life like to have an iPad and have the internet and have instant access to everything that he can have access to. You know, we feel like with the first few years of his life, at least he can remember a time when instant access isn't always a thing and a commodity that you always grow up with, and you learn from the first time. You have just memories, I guess.
It's a very tough, and in that same vein, it's very hard for me, who I just want to give everything to him.
Yeah.
Like, I don't dress cool or have nice things. I collect records, for Christ's sake. But
That's cool.
it is cool, but it's like, I'm definitely in my 3rd midlife crisis. Like, I'm fully entrenched. But the only thing I'm missing is like a Lamborghini or something. But like, I just feel like
The midlife crisis
What do you
starter
want with a
pack.
Lamborghini? What are you going to do with a Lamborghini?
pick up chicks. Have my 3rd divorce. That's what you get a Lamborghini for. You drive it slow because I'm afraid of crashing it. But you're like, So I settled for records and like Uniqlo sweaters. And so I'm okay with that. Like I like that aspect. But now I have to resist the temptation to give him everything he could ever desire so that he can learn those valuable lessons.
Totally.
So we learned them because we were poor. So we couldn't have everything. So that was...
But I feel that's a good mentality because like, I think what's the best part about like, at least when we were growing up and we had that like, in terms of games, for example, right? You didn't just have like a Steam library of like 1,000 games or whatever. You had maybe, I don't know, an N64, maybe like 3 to 5 games at most.
I mean, I'd get like a game or 2 for Christmas tops, and I had to be sure I wanted those games.
Yeah,
but I think
I remember picking a game that I did not like, and I was like,
"Oh, that's
that's the worst.
That is the worst. That's your sophomore year.
Like, that's like 3 months. You're locked into this game. You're
that's
like,
why you started working at McDonald's.
Yes, because I was like, I need money. I need to get out of this house.
But I think for better or worse, regardless of if it is like, that one game that was just like life changing, or if it's the one game that you were just like, oh fuck, I'm stuck with this for 3 months. That just builds such core memories for that.
It does. It absolutely does.
Like that will be the one thing that, your son will in like 20 years time being like, yeah, I remember like I only had these 3 games that my dad showed me growing up and they were the best fucking moments ever, even if they weren't necessarily the best games ever.
Dude, Roller Coaster Tycoon 2 on PC.
Oh, bang.
I'm not giving him a PC until he's 21.
But that was like half
Smart
my
move.
childhood. That was like everything.
Yeah, that was,
I mean, when you find that one that has the gameplay loop.
He's gonna get a PC.
I know.
He's gonna find a way.
When he's 1 month old. Like he already has 2. I gave him like a...
That's the thing. Everyone has phones now, right? It's just like, it's kind of like, you don't need to get them a PC. They've got everything in that thing. You can emulate all these things.
Gosh, I was at TwitchCon recently, and there was a guy who was playing on his phone. And he was a friend of mine, but he's older. So I was like, there's no way you're playing like, Heavenly Goddess for some sort of like gotcha game. And he's like, nah, I installed a retro app that's like a Game Boy Advance and I'm playing Mother 2. And I was like, okay, so I didn't know that existed.
Yeah.
How much does it cost and how do I get it? And so, I mean, you're right though. It's all right there. It's all but this is something I fondly write all this down. So in 10 years when we do a reunion episode, I'll be like, I don't know what happened. He hates games and loves anime. I hate you guys. And I get like, I lash out that he's not at all, but anything he likes.
I really enjoy when we play games. You always have such, because obviously you're one of the OG gamers. You're like an extinct breed.
Yes, I'm an endangered species.
You are an endangered species.
Yeah.
I mean, like, there's not a lot of people who were so into gaming back then who kept up with it. And also are able to are excited to share about it because they'll be like, yeah, because sometimes I'll talk to people who are 40 or older and they'll be like, yeah, I played this dumb Atari game back then. It's like, no, that's so cool. You were there day one.
Day one.
Like you could have told us what everyone felt about this game at the time and like this. And I love that when we talk about Final Fantasies, you'll tell me not just about the game, but like what people were talking about, what people were excited about at the time. And that's, I think, for anime, it's what we love doing as well. It's like talking about the vibe of when this anime came out.
Yeah, what the cultural zeitgeist was like back in the day.
The show was so impactful.
Yeah.
And I feel
really
like
good
for
point.
gaming, it's really cool because I feel like it's for gaming, it's been long forgotten.
Well, I think a nice parallel to manga, especially, or possibly anime. I don't really watch a lot of it, obviously, but is that in the old days, now we wait 6 or 7 years for a new iteration of a Final Fantasy or not Call of Duty. That's like every 2 weeks, but like games that we like the next Souls-like is who knows when. Bloodborne fans have been waiting for years, like a decade. GTA 6 has been like a decade or 15 years in like the making.
Delayed again.
Delayed again.
Yeah.
When I was in high school or middle school, we had, video game magazines, and we've talked about this one before, but the month-to-month previews of little tidbits of information is kind of similar to you get your weekly shonen magazine where you get to see a little bit more each week, so it remains relevant in conversation.
Yeah.
As opposed to now where I'm like, well, Final Fantasy 17 is coming out someday, but the old Final Fantasy 6, which is our favorite, or one of them, was only like 2 or 3 years in between 7, which is unconscionable to think about now.
Yeah, I think it was a year before that Chrono Trigger came out.
Yeah, 95, 95 I think was Final Fantasy 6, 96 was Chrono Trigger, 97 was...
Insane.
Generational run.
It's like, and then Final Fantasy 8 was like 2 years after that. Yeah. Final Fantasy 9 was 2001. And you have, so Chrono Trigger was 95, so Final Fantasy 6 was 94, I think.
Yeah.
So only a year between these, but it felt like it was a lot to talk about. We were waiting because originally Final Fantasy VII was an N64 game, and they had the prototype images that I don't know if you can show. Can you look up Final Fantasy VII N64? Because this is cool.
Oh yeah, and the size couldn't fit on the N64 card.
No, I think they were disappointed with the music chip and its potential graphics. But the second picture there, they did a mock-up, which is actually Final Fantasy VI characters. As like
what they would look like in 3D on the
cool.
That's
and
cool.
so we would get that image first. And then when news broke that Squaresoft had left Nintendo, which was like the reason I owned a Super Nintendo and went to PlayStation, I was like, Sony day one. That's always been my go. I've never liked Nintendo. I hate Nintendo. All my homies hate Nintendo. And so I jumped ship to Final Fantasy VII and but that was still all that news, all that anticipation. The demo for Final Fantasy VII, I believe, was on a game I bought called like Tobal Number 1 or some shit. It's a crappy game. And its sole purpose was it came with the intro to Final Fantasy VII, the bombing run.
Right.
So all this was all within a year or two. But it felt like months and months and months. Like when manga, you can't wait for the next just monthly issue to talk about and to buy. I'm getting way too excited, and I'm getting angry about this Koji Michael Fox thing.
Do you remember the console war?
Of course, there's been several.
Yeah,
Sega does what Nintendo don't.
Yeah,
that was
remember
a cool
the Sega Nintendo one originally. Then Mario and Sonic. Yeah,
of course.
Everyone needed to pick a side.
Well, I was thinking about this the other day. It's crazy. If you look at a lot of games that came out in 92, 93, 94, like on these early Genesis or Master Drive systems and Super Nintendo, a lot of them on the packaging will say like 16 megs of power. And I'm like, fuck yeah, bitch. I have no idea what that means. But like every kid knew that phrase.
Yeah.
Or like the Sony PlayStation was 32 bits.
Yeah.
And now the N64, which is why it's called the 64, is 64 bits. I still have no idea what a bit is. Like I should know. But these were, lines drawn in the sand.
Yeah.
But Sony's using a proprietary system called a CD. Which was crazy. Like, what? And so, but this means we can have richer music and voice acting, but the cartridges load faster. But, we had all these different arguments. And then, if you imagine it like a food pyramid, the N64 kind of has some really great, timeless, still to this day, like Mario 64, Smash, Banjo-Kazooie. Like, a lot of these games still are relevant.
Legendary.
Yeah.
Really still very good. And then the PlayStation was more innovative and allowed for greater customization, but I don't think they're quite as playable for like today's.
Yeah, PS1 games are rough.
They're pretty tough.
Even on emulator, it's like, oh,
It's
not great.
pretty nasty.
Yeah.
But like those wars were like
So
at school.
you were a Nintendo kid until you switched to being a Sony kid.
Well, I was originally a Nintendo,
You're
and
right.
then my mom she bought me a Sega CD, but I didn't have a Genesis, which you had to connect them to.
Did you ask for a Sega CD?
I asked for, even worse, an Atari Jaguar, which
Whoa!
it's the worst fucking thing.
But I
ever
mean,
made.
that thing ate through batteries. Like you'd
Well,
go
no,
pour and
a
dump.
Jaguar was their home console.
Oh, sorry, I thought you meant
Yeah.
the one that was
The Lynx or something like
yeah,
that.
the links
Yeah.
that required like
And
almost
what
double the
games
batteries.
were on
Look at
this?
that fucking
Look at this!
controller.
Look at this controller, though. I love
What
the
games were on this that you asked for this one specifically?
There-
There only like
there's like
20
4
games?
Yeah. So, like I said, my son's already smarter than I am.